Welcome back, 8th grade. All right, so we just finished, we did a whole bunch when it came to solving quadratic equations and how to know, using the discriminant to know how many solutions we are going to have. We're now going to step in and we're going to bring the linear and the exponential functions back, and we're going to do some comparing so that we can look at a graph, look at a table, and make a decision on which model without actually having to truly graph it or, yeah. Here we go. So we got a picture. Of course, linear is a line, quadratics are U-shape, and that exponential was that really fast-growing curve that we worked with in Chapter 7. Now, when we are looking at tables, what we're going to notice is with a line, right, we talked about how we change by the same thing every time. So our x's are increasing by 1 for each and every one of these, and our y's are adding 3. Right, we're going to add 3 to each to get the next. And so we know that that is a common difference. Difference just meaning the distance between our points. We have a common distance. In this case, it's 3. But what that means is that it's linear, right? If you have a common difference, then we have a linear function. Now, this next table is going to show us a quadratic function. So again, we are increasing by 1 for our domain, right? We're increasing each of those by 1. But when we look at our first difference, right, 1 to -1 is -2. -1 to 1 is +2. 1 to 7 is +6. And 7 to 17 is +10. So when we look at those, we're like, well, that's not a common difference. But if we look at the next set, -2 to 4, we added 4. 2 to 6, we added 4. 6 to 10, we add 4. So our first difference isn't the same, but our second difference is constant. And so when we have that second difference constant, then we have a quadratic. And then what we will notice with exponentials are we're looking for a common ratio. And remember, a ratio is, in this case, it's going to be multiplying. What are we multiplying by? So here, 3 to 1, we multiplied by 3, right? If I take 9 divided by 3, I multiplied it by 3. So each of these are being multiplied by 3. And that's what makes it an exponential. Is that we have that common ratio. We're multiplying, not adding. So this one says to graph each set of points, which model is most appropriate for each. So I'm going to graph these points. Remember, this is x and this is y, so we're going to go right 1 and up 3. And so that's our first point. I'm going to go ahead and pause my video to graph the rest of these, and then, by magic, all of these are going to show up in just a second. All right, and just like that, all the points have appeared. So when we look at these points, they make that iconic U shape. And so because they make that U shape, we know that this is a quadratic model, a model of a quadratic function. And so there's our first one. All right, here's our next one. Again, I'm going to pause. We're still making that, so like 0, 2 is here, right? And then we're going to go -4, etc. I'm going to pause and make them just appear. All right, so for this one, it can kind of be deceiving. At first, it almost looks like it's a line, right? But for it to be a line, we'd have to be changing by the same amount each time, right? So like here we went down 2 and over 1, but this next one we go down 1 over 1. So it can't be a line. But if you also notice, we're not going, like we're getting smaller into the box instead of crossing this x-axis. And so that's a pretty good clue that this is an exponential. If what we notice is that we have, it's called an asymptote, where we don't cross a certain line. And so we're getting to that point where we're going to get really, really close but never touch the x-axis. Right? And so, again, the main reason why I know it's exponential over linear is that we are not changing by the same amount. If they were all down to right 1, it would be linear, but we're not. So exponential. All right. Next one, again, I'm going to pause and graph the points. All right. So now looking at this one, we are going up 1 and over 1. You may go, but Mrs. Cartwright, this one stretches. Well, yeah, but we're still going, like, it's an up 2 over 2, and 2 over 2 is still 1. So we are still increasing by the same amount. And so because of that, this is linear. It creates that line. All right, so now, I mean, graphs are pretty easy to look at and see. And I just gave you those tips on what to look for. Now we're going to look at these tables. So we're going to use differences and ratios. Over here, we know that they are all adding 1. That's simple. All right, but over here, we're going to look at, are we changing by the same amount each time? So from -2 to 5, oh, I forgot. This one has a typo in it. That's not a -2. Make that a 9. From 9 to 5, we subtract 4. And from 5 to 1, we subtract 4. And from 1 to -3, we subtract 4. And from -3 to 7, we subtract 4. And so this one has first line common difference. The reason this was supposed to be a 9 is I copied the table from a different one and forgot to change that number. But we have that common difference of a -4. And so since we have that common difference, this is linear. Okay, and again, it's that first common difference makes it linear. All right, now looking at this one, again, our x values are increasing by 1. When I look at my y values, though, here I subtracted 0.25. Here I subtracted 0.75. And then I'm going to subtract 1.75. And then I subtract... Oh, I need to do some math here. I couldn't read my own writing. This is a 1.25. Rewrite that one. And the next one is a -1.75. So we subtracted a full 1 and it's 1.75. But if I look as I go to these next ones, we get that we subtracted 0.5. And then from 0.75 to 1.25, again, we subtract 0.5. And from a -1.25 to a -1.75, we subtract 0.5. So we've got that second difference, right? Second difference. And so because we have that second difference, it is a quadratic. Because we subtract both times. Now, if you're like, well, I don't want to sit there and keep trying to subtract, by all means, you can try your common difference first and then try your common ratio. I looked at it knowing that we weren't going to get. In my head, I knew that 4 and 2.25 was not the same as 2.25 divided by 1. So that's why I knew it wasn't an exponential. All right, looking at this last one. Again, our x values are increasing by 1. When I look at how I'm increasing my y values, I see that I added 0.25 here, and then I add 0.5 here, and I add 1, and I add 2. But then looking at that, I know that this is adding 0.5 and this is adding 1. So what that means is it's not a common difference. So we have no common difference. So what I'm going to try is a common ratio. And so if I take 0.5 and divide by 0.25, I get 2, right? If I take 1 and divide by 0.5, I get 2. And if I take that 2 and divide by 1, I get 2. 4 divided by 2, I get 2. And so we have that common ratio. We are multiplying everything by 2 to get to the next one. And so that's what makes this an exponential. All right, we only have one more example left. And it says the data at the right gives the value of a used car over time. Which type of function best models the data? Write an equation for your model. So I'm going to count by 2000s. So this is going to be 2000, 4000, 6000, 8000. We get the picture, and I'll finish that off. And then we're going to go by ones across the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to graph. So I'm going to pause so that we're not taking up time while I graph. Okay, so I graphed my function. I did realize that I made a mistake on my counting because I was counting 2, 4, 6, 8 and wrote the 8, but really that should have been 10,000. Right? I'm missing some zeros there. And then I plotted my points. Now this is starting to look kind of linear here, and I think it's because of how we had with the graph that I provided. It's scrunched up, and so we're kind of estimating where some of these points are. But if I look and I do my common ratio, and we take 11,065 divided by 12,575, and then we take 9,750 divided by 11,065, and we continue down that pattern, right? The next divided by the first, well, not the first, but the one before it. The previous, that's the word that I needed. So when we do all of this, what we find out after we do the division is that we get approximately 0.88 for the first two. We get approximately a 0.87 and approximately a 0.88 for this last one. So when we look at these and, which it should, whether it's a linear, a exponential, or a quadratic, what we notice is we have that common ratio of 0.88. And so because we have a common ratio, this is an exponential function. And so then we're going towards y equals a times bx to get our equation. Our a is our initial, so we're going to have y equals 12,575 times, and b is our common ratio, which we found was 0.88, so times 0.88x. And that is our two answers, the fact that it's an exponential and it asks for the equation of the model of the data. And so that's what we're working on, just using tables and graphs to determine exponential, quadratic, and linear. Until next time.